Hey there! Today we're going to talk about some funk guitar playing, and specifically Misery by Maroon 5. Now you might be a little weirded out by seeing a guy playing funk guitar on an acoustic, but I had an acoustic in my hand, so why not use it? And the student that I'm doing this video for is an acoustic player, so just to show her that, any of these lines, almost anything that you can play on an electric, you can play on an acoustic, and vice versa. Acoustic's a little bit harder to play, but in this case, you can get some cool results playing funk guitar on the acoustic guitar. So all the notes are the same, so here we go. So the first chord in Misery is a C chord. The second chord is a B chord. The voicings that I'm using are only 3-note chord voicings. And in most funk guitar playing, you're only going to use the high 4 strings of the guitar, sometimes only 3 strings. So meaning not even bothering to use the E string or the A string at all. So the voicing for the C chord that we're going to use is 10, 9, and 8th frets on the D, G, and B strings. And then the B chord is that exact chord, just moved down 1 fret. All right. So now the strumming pattern is, generally speaking, the toughest thing to deal with in funk guitar playing. Usually what you're going to use is a 16th note strumming pattern with your right hand, meaning 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then you're going to do some manipulations of the chords with your left hand. They're either going to be played or muted. So all those variations that I played right there, I never stopped my right hand from moving in the 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All the variations were done by either playing the chord or muting the chord. To mute the chord, I lift my fingers up so that they're making contact with the string, but not pushing it down to the fret. You don't want to lift your fingers up so that they actually leave the string, because then you're just going to hear the open string. It's cool, but it's not exactly funky. So the technique also will have some right hand muting involved. Right hand muting is when you use the karate chop edge of your hand against the strings down here. So that's another form of muting that can be helpful. But the vast majority of the muting in this style is going to be done with the left hand. So it's either going to be left hand playing or left hand muting. That was done entirely with all left hand muting. So now the ornaments that he uses in this little thing. The chords are just C and B, like I mentioned before. The ornaments are done just by manipulating my pinky. It's all going to be on the B string. What I'm doing for the first ornament is, on the C chord, is putting my pinky down on the 10th fret of the B string and lifting it up. Down, up, down, up. Now I go down to the B chord. Those manipulations are, first of all, it's no pinky, then pinky down on the 9th, then pinky down on the 10th, then down on the 9th again. And when I'm using those manipulations, using my pinky down and everything, I'm playing the other 2 notes in the chord too, because it just kind of sounds cool. So that is the intro and the verse. There are some other I think right before the chorus, they just kind of hold on the chords a little longer, like the C, B, something like that. I just learned the tune about 20 minutes ago, so bear with me if I don't get the details exact. But the chorus also uses funky voicings of pretty run-of-the-mill chords. E minor 7, A minor 7, D, and G. I'm using some funky variations of them that make them have some fancy schmancy names, but they're really not that difficult. Here's E minor 7, and that is played, again, I'm not playing the E and the A string at all. I'm barring the 7th fret, 3rd finger, 9th fret, D, middle finger, 8th fret, B, and my 1st finger is barring, so it's holding down the G and E strings. So it's a partial bar chord. It's a partial E minor 7 bar chord. To play an A minor 7 partial bar chord, all I'm going to do is move my ring finger over to 9th fret on the G string. And so those are the 2 first chords in the chorus. E minor 7, A minor 7. The next chord is, technically it's a D13. There are a bunch of notes omitted from it, but this would be, could either be called a D major 6 or a D13, although I would imply that there is a flat 7th in here if you know anything about theory. If not, don't worry about it. All it is the 7th fret straight across with the 4 fingers, the 4 strings that I mentioned before. And so that's just a fancy schmancy D chord in a way. And then the G major 9th is played by putting your middle finger on 8th fret of the B string. And again, that's just a fancy schmancy G chord. So all right, and that is your chorus. Now the bridge has a couple more funk voicings in it. Wrong notes there. Or no additional charge to you. So the bridge chords are B minor. This is a partial B minor bar chord. So when I'm barring the 7th fret, ring finger, 9th fret of the D string, and the rest of the fingers are just played by the bar chord. The next chord is down 2 frets. Down to the, barring the 5th fret, ring finger on the 7th fret. That is an A minor bar chord. The next chord is an F sharp diminished chord. That one is done with 1st finger, 4th fret, D, ring finger, 5th fret, G, middle finger, 4th fret, B, pinky, 5th fret, high E. And then we have a G, a partial G bar chord. I'm barring the 3rd fret, In fact, on this chord I only bar the B and E strings, but if you barred all four, it wouldn't be a problem. And then ring finger, 5th fret, D, middle finger, 4th fret, G. So all together that is the second half of the bridge starts with the exact same chords and ends on the C and B chords that we talked about that were in the intro and verse. So it's B minor, A minor, C to B. And that is essentially the entire song. So I hope that's informative, and I hope you have fun trying out some funk guitar playing. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.